Kimberly, thank you so much for talking with me today. And I'm really excited to hear a little more about the wool pellet project and the next phase of research. Would you like to start by telling us who's involved with this?
Sure. Thanks, Cheryl. This is great. So this was a very exciting project funded by NE-SARE grant, and it's a collaboration between Extension and the UVM Horticulture Catamount Farm and Cedar Circle Farm in southern Vermont. Um, we're all going to be involved with trialing these wool pellets in different crops on both farms because they have different soils, and we're going to see how they perform with these different crops. So it's a very exciting project.
Great. And what are the crops you're going to be testing on?
So we'll be trying it with tomatoes and spinach, which both require a nice addition of nitrogen, but at a different place and time in their growth cycles. And we're also trying to, because pellets have very little phosphorus, and these crops can utilize what's already in the soil, we're hoping that it'll perform just fine. They do have a high percentage of nitrogen and next to no phosphorus, which is a pretty ideal combination for vegetable growers. One of the problems that many have been facing in the last several years is trying to cut back on phosphorus, which is what contributes to our water quality issues. We're trying to really eliminate, in some places, the phosphorus. But plants still need the nitrogen, but they all need it at different times and at different pace or a different speed. It's a new and unusual fertilizer, but if it works, this will be a game changer for in many ways for gardening in the Northeast.
That's great. And for folks who might not know about the wool pellet project overall yet, do you want to say a little bit about where the wool pellets are coming from and what they mean?
Sure. So for the past decade, really, even longer, wool has not had much value and it's been declining in value. And the sheep producers still have to, annually, they do have to get their animals sheared, take the wool off. It's like, your hair grows too long, you need a haircut. So it has to be removed to keep them healthy on an annual basis. And this is a cost to those sheep farmers. And already it's a pretty marginal business. So here's a cost that they can't really recoup very well. The price is so low and it's been dropping. So here's a product that we might be able to make from this raw product by, compressing it into these small pellets. And they've done this in Asia and Europe. They use this as a fertilizer, and they have been for several years, and they've had good results. So we thought to trial it here. We purchased some pellets from a Western startup and had them shipped here to Vermont to give it a try. And that's what we'll be using in our trial. But the hope is that eventually we could make our own. We could, take the wool clip, as it's called, from the state or the whole Northeast, actually, and have it compressed into these pellets that would then be for sale for vegetable farmers. So one of the things that, has really become apparent in the last several years is the price of land has become very expensive. And so here's an opportunity to figure out if we can produce more from a finite piece of land, off the same piece of land, we can have multiple enterprises. So that addresses the viability. So here we are looking at, producing plants that can provide a refuge for these pollinators, but also some food production. We can produce some food off of, basically the job these animals are doing on just maintaining it and then providing us with some food, as well as some fiber. And then we're on top of it all, we've got some energy clean energy being produced off the same site. So, this is multiple uses that are all beneficial in many different ways. So it's a very important question that that's good to be addressing.